Hello there, ladies and gents. In today's video, I want to talk about some of the potential dangers and consequences when it comes to applying PUA in the real world. Now, these are some of the things that if you go to a roach or a rejection artist, they are definitely not going to tell you about. And I've found some articles and clips of people that I'm going to react to and go over that have confessed that they've tried this kind of stuff, you know, spent quite a bit of money on dating roaches and rejection artists, pickup predators, whatever you want to call them, and they've actually gotten in uh, a lot of trouble, a lot of trouble for going out and doing this stuff. So I like this video to be a bit of a cautionary tale, not to go out and do this stuff. It doesn't work anyway. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know my stance on this. It doesn't work, and it oh, a second, this cable tangles something. Right, now we're back. Yeah, but it doesn't work anyway, and at best you're just going to get polite rejections, and at worst you're going to get rejection trauma, and potentially get in trouble with the law. So what I'll do now is I'll get rid of this little thumbnail, and we will start looking at some articles and things. And the first one here I found was this guy here by the name of Adnan Ahmed, pickup artist. It says conviction quashed on appeal. So it says here in this little blurb under the photo here, that's Adnan Ahmed was convicted of 5 counts of threatening and abusive behaviour towards young women. And of course we all know, like, if it was Chad, it wouldn't be threatening and abusive. It'd be, charming. But look at this bloke here. He's not a Chad, sub 5, and it's got the ethnic tax, so things aren't going to work out too well for him. And we all know all this PUA stuff is just a load of shit. I mean, who knows what he was saying? They might tell me. I just had a little brief look through this stuff just to make sure it was relevant. I don't know the whole story, but I hope they say what lines or whatever he used, so we get an idea. But who knows if he was actually that pardon me, if he was that, that malicious towards them. He might have just been saying, hi, how you going, how was your day, and because he's a sub 5 he got thrown under the bus by the law. But let's read it. Okay, this article was written in 18th of September 2020. Okay, a so-called pickup artist who was jailed for targeting young women has had his conviction quashed on appeal. Adnan Ahmed, who called himself Addy A Game, of course he did, secretly filmed himself approaching women in Glasgow, South Lancashire, or Lanarkshire, whatever it is. The 39-year-old who was convicted last October of threatening and abusing behaviour towards 5 women. But 3 judges at the Court of Criminal Appeal have now ruled the verdict was a miscarriage of justice, so he got off on it. How extremely lucky for this guy he got off on it. Unbelievable. Police Scotland launched an investigation after his actions were revealed by the BBC's The Social in 2019. The self-styled lifestyle coach would approach women in the street, often secretly filming the encounter and posting videos offering advice to other men. So he was a dating roach, trying to, make money. In the videos, he offered tips on how to overcome last-minute resistance. There's no overcoming that. If you get any kind of resistance, it's your cue to leave. So, yep, I'll tell you that. Just get out of there. Mr. Ahmed also included audio apparently recording during bedroom fun. So he's a deviant. 5 young women aged between 16 and 21 gave evidence saying that they'd been intimidated. Now, I do believe 16 is a legal age, so a bloke in his 30s shouldn't be going after a woman that young, but just assuming that everything's legal, things like that. Yeah, we'll watch this little video in a second. Most likely he got reported just because he's not a good-looking bloke, and these lines and that don't work. You come off as incongruent, creepy, predator. You just come off like a weirdo. So they gave evidence saying that they'd been intimidated, and by Mr. Ahmed in the city centre and in Uddingston, South Lanarkshire. Okay. There's a little clip here. I'm going to I'll read the rest of this and play this clip, then maybe move on from this one. We'll see. After a jury found him guilty, so he went in front of a jury. Jesus, really scary. Sheriff Lindsay Wood sentenced Mr. Ahmed of Mary Hill, Glasgow, to 2 years in prison. 2 years in prison for going and approaching using PUA. So listen up, lads. Don't do this stuff, because this is kind of like a worst case scenario thing. And even if you don't touch them, even if you don't be like overly sexual or anything like that, just going up and approaching them and them feeling uncomfortable and harassed and get you in big trouble. Very, very, very hot water. So, in addition to getting sentenced to 2 years, he was also put on the bedroom fun offenders register for 10 years. Lawyers acting for Mr. Ahmed told the Court Criminal Appeal earlier this year that Sheriff Wood conducted an inappropriate cross-examination of their client when he finished giving evidence. Defence advocate Claire Mitchell, QC, said the questions asked by Sheriff Wood to Mr. Ahmed would have led the independent observer to reach the view that the sheriff had formed an adverse view of his credibility. So he got off on a technicality, not because he was innocent. Only because he must have a little bit of money, probably would, from ripping off people. So he hired a QC to get him off on a technicality. Otherwise, he'd be 2 years prison for just talking to women, huh? Unbelievable. She added that Sheriff Wood's conduct resulted in the client being denied a fair and impartial trial. Fucking give him the 2 years, bugger the prick. Okay, let's watch this and see what happens if we can, or if I have to sign in, I don't know. Let's try and watch this and see what happens. If there's any ads, you'll have to forgive me. There's a little ad, so I'm just going to just mute it. If you're on the screen watching it, enjoy the pretty view. Some kind of a cruise. I don't know if it's going to let me go on. Why is it stopping every 3 seconds? Speaking of cruises, if Master Yoda's watching this, he's got a good story about when he went on a cruise. Oh, here we go.
This is not just a cheesy chat-up line. This man is playing a game made popular in America. He's trying to pick up women. He posts his videos in a bid to teach others how to do this and make money from them. Yesterday, BBC Scotland's The Social posted this, a film about how he operates. Some of his videos are too graphic to show you, where he boasts about his sexual exploits and even posts audio recordings of them online.
Oh, I dare say that once again, like all the other rejection roaches and that out there, and rejection artists, any infield footage or bedroom fun footage is probably recorded using a paid professional, a lady of the night, or a model of some kind, because all this stuff, as we know, doesn't work. And he's used some kind of underhanded tactic to get, footage of, him being successful with the ladies to just add credibility to all the bullshit courses he sells.
This young woman said that the same man had approached her 3 years ago in Glasgow city centre.
He was trying to kiss me as well. He definitely moved forward and tried to touch my face and stuff, which I wasn't happy with. I had to ask a member of the public if I could stand next to them.
She said he then went on to
Yeah, you don't want to be this guy creeping out random people in the street, and if you're getting, especially if you're getting no, I hate to use their term, indicators of interest. If you're not getting any choosing signals, you definitely don't go in for any kind of touching or kissing, which is what this guys were doing, and not reading the girl's body language whatsoever.
contact her online.
He was constantly pestering me on Snapchat from different accounts, saying that he saw me in town earlier on that day, and on Instagram it was just kind of sending me videos of him walking around town talking about this game.
Another young
So he's a nutcase, and he's stalking and harassing that young lady. So this guy deserves to do some time in prison. He definitely does.
woman who wanted to remain anonymous told me about how she felt when she was approached.
Uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is more like the word, because you don't know how to just tell him, look, leave me alone. I'm not interested.
Did you hear that? When he approached her, she felt uncomfortable. So as he was, see, this guy takes no interest whatsoever in the choosing signals that the women are giving him. If you lock eyes, if you smile, if you interact with women in any way and you're getting anything but positive signals, get out of there. She's not interested. That's one thing these PUA guys claim that you can overcome by, saying the right words, doing the right things in the right order. They claim that you can overcome, you know, any any barriers, any SHIT tests, things like that, any crap tests, and that basically your looks don't matter. That you can overcome everything by saying and doing the right things and acting the right way. But this guy, this Ahmed guy, obviously approached her without getting any choosing signals, and look what happened.
He should give up, especially because there are girls who are maybe not secure enough to just say no.
Most people think they know about pickup or game.
The man calls himself Addy A Game. Some campaigners are concerned about the effects this sort of attitude could have.
There is an argument, I think, to be made about incitement to hatred against women and whether or not the law gives currently enough protection. I think some of what he's doing appears to me to be caught by the existing criminal law, and I think that's for a matter for the police to investigate.
As far as my thoughts on the whole like protection of women thing on the street, I've kind of got mixed feelings about it, because yes, they need protection from idiots like that, but what about the average Joe Blow that maybe, if he's lucky, he goes up and asks out maybe 2 or 3 women a year? Now that guy's going to get punished, and going to get scared to go up and just, introduce himself and ask a girl out on a date, like with no PUA lines or any dating roach bullshit. This kind of stuff does harm guys. Just the average Joe that's just looking to find a girlfriend. It can really harm him.
But I think more broadly there's a discussion to be had in society about both legally but also in terms of education. What do we do about tackling misogynistic behaviour like this?
In a statement this afternoon, Police Scotland said this.
Now, would it? I guess PUA would be misogynistic behaviour because of a lot of the lines they're taught to say can be very, very arrogant, very, very bedroom fun focused. but it'll, but it's kind of like a it's a funny area because if these kind of laws come out, it's kind of all up to the interpretation of the woman. Like just saying, "Hi, how you going? My name's Tony. Do you want to grab a coffee sometime?" If saying something like that once and then leaving a woman alone is considered, you know, like a really bad thing to do, then I don't think that's fair. But if you're a consistent harasser, like a PUA, so I've always said in other videos, police need to get, attractive undercover female officers to patrol the streets and try to catch some of these assholes in the act and throw the book at them. Let's just watch the rest of this.
This type of predatory behaviour is shameful and unacceptable and will undoubtedly cause significant fear and alarm. Police said their investigations were at an early stage, but added, "We would ask anyone with information to contact us." YouTube has removed 2 of the videos from its site. Tonight, Addy A-Game responded.
I'll have to do an in-depth analysis of this dickhead too. Have to find his channel, pick a couple of his videos, and rip into pieces. He looks like just a complete scumbag, scamming piece of shit.
He said he intends to fully cooperate with the police. He said the women's allegations are false and that it's just a bunch of guys talking to a bunch of girls.
And it's not exactly that, and he knows it. It's not as harmless as, like, as I said before, about that average Joe. These guys, I'm not so much the people that have been suckered into buying the stuff from them selling these rejection artists selling false hope to them. It's these guys that are actually going and teaching the guys the yads, the Owen Cooks, the mysteries, the rolled up tomatoes, and all that stuff. It's all them guys that need to be taken to task. It's not necessarily the average guy that's just trying to find a nice girl and settle down with.
And no one is at risk of rape or assault.
Well, I hope not. I don't really want to talk about that last topic because channels can get in trouble for doing it. This just keeps on going more and more into just what happened in the court. Unacceptable. There was enough evidence on these charges. So they had evidence, they just got him on a technicality. So this guy's out, but he should be behind bars. So he just hired a good QC that went through all the laws, all the clauses, section A1, A2, A3 down to section Z, and just found just a little technicality. That's what really good lawyers do. They know every single line of the big book of law, and that's how a lot of them lawyers can get people off. So he hired a QC and got off. So once again, this guy here is a cautionary tale, and you don't have to be a pickup guru or a teacher or anything to do it. You can just be an average guy that goes up and tries some of this stuff and memorizes their lines and get in trouble. So once again, cautionary tale, do not go out and do this stuff. Let's get rid of that. And now we got some legal jargon here from, I believe this is actually from a lawyer. There's actually lawyers that can pick up a lot, like if you've been in trouble. So this is a lawyer's associates. They've obviously, had a lot of interactions with guys that have, just approached women and asked them out. And Melbourne, I can see this happening in Melbourne because another name for Melbourne is California, the California of Australia. Extremely woke, extremely left. And I don't think I would even, unless I was getting like super A or S tier choosing signals, I would never ever talk to a random lady in Melbourne, ever. So this was in February 26, 2004, bedroom fun offences. The title is Legal Issues Surrounding the Pickup Artist Industry in Melbourne. And okay, it says pickup artist in Melbourne beware. Are you a pickup artist or coach in Melbourne who is worried about what legal ramifications can result from their actions? Melbourne criminal lawyers have dealt with a variety of matters involving several daters and pickup artists. So there you go. If this mob has dealt with it, then that just goes to show you that the women women do not want guys going up to them doing any of this shit in public. So please don't go and do it. Attracting a partner should be a natural thing. If you're getting choosing signals to go up and introduce yourself, if you're not getting choosing signals, it's over and it never began with that lady. Okay? As simple as that. Right, if you require specific legal advice for your situation, book a consultation for practical and actionable advice. Now, this lawyer goes on to talk about cold approach and consent. If you have the courage and time to approach people in public, you may find that a number of people you cold approach are unreceptive to your advances. Yes, because you are not getting choosing signals off them. And PUA doesn't work. But these lawyers don't really give a shit about that. They're not telling you not to do it, but of course not, because they want to make money. You should definitely seek legal advice from our Melbourne criminal defence lawyers prior to engaging in such conduct, as you might find that your behaviour could attract the attention of bystanders and police. Exactly, straight from the lawyer's mouth. Without providing pick-up advice, it is important to ensure you have obtained the person's consent prior to engaging in physical contact. Of course, 100%. 100%. Now, obviously, some guys are getting in trouble for doing this because they're PUA, roaches and gurus are just telling them, oh, yeah, you got to be alpha, you just got to go in and touch them, go in and kiss them, do this, do that. No, definitely do not do that. Unless you're getting the green light to do so, don't do that kind of stuff. Without providing pick-up advice, it is important to ensure that you have obtained the person's consent prior to engaging in physical contact. Yes. Failing to do so would likely constitute bedroom fun assault. Furthermore, Victoria Police take bedroom fun violence very seriously in Melbourne. Yes, they do. They really, really, really do. So, as like I said before, I would not be caught dead talking to a lady unless I was getting absolute ST signal in Melbourne. So your actions in the pickup industry should be tempered to suit local Australian cultural norms. Do not encourage much physical touching on the first meeting someone. Well, if you're not getting choosing signals, you shouldn't even go and introduce yourself because your attention is unwanted. We all know in the BP community that looks, in the beginning, looks are the only thing that matter. And if you don't pass the basic looks tests, it's absolutely game over. And then there is nothing you can do about it. You can't charm your way into a girl's pants. Now, this is where the actual well, I wouldn't say actual, but more so like the gurus and teachers and trainers get in trouble with unauthorized filming and privacy laws. I know some just average Joes, average pickup Joes can also go and film their work to go and review it and that. But let's just, if you're in Melbourne, here's some law, okay? Filming in public is generally allowed, especially where there's consent provided by those being filmed. However, pickup artists often make videos and recordings of their interactions where there are bedroom fun acts occurring. Well, some do, most of them don't, but some do. But you definitely should not do that without consent 100%. This can result in there being corn. There's a word that rhymes with corn being filmed, which is regulated in Australia. Sharing intimate images and videos of people without their consent can also result in criminal charges being laid. Yes, we have very, very, very strong laws, especially with in regard to things like revenge porn and like sharing snaps of your legitimate girlfriend and boyfriend and stuff. So sharing intimate images and videos of people without consent can result in criminal charges. They can carry terms of imprisonment. Yes, it's that serious. If you're planning to film, you should ensure that consent is provided. For future acquisitions of criminal misconduct, please speak with the criminal. Yeah. So these guys here, this website here, I mean, go and visit them if you want, but they're just trying to get your money, and hopefully they're not really teaching these idiots legal loopholes to get away with this shit. So, all right, and the next section is aggressive behaviour. Not only can pick-up artists talking to people be accused of committing bedroom fun offences, they can also be committing assault. There are various forms of assault, including verbal and physical. With some of the pick-up lines I've heard, yes, I agree with that. Some of it can be verbal assault. Depending on the severity of the assault and injury suffered by the victim, you can have a criminal conviction made against you, which would stop you from doing pick-up in the future. And if repeated behaviour is observed, you can get arrested and charged. So, as I said, like you shouldn't do this anywhere, but especially in like more woke or left towns like Melbourne, especially more so like the inner north suburbs. They are at the inner, like you've got your Footscrays and your Coburgs and things. They are extreme, like left leaning. So it's just you've really got to. I mean, this stuff doesn't work no matter what political side you're on, but but you really got to be careful just even looking at a lady in Melbourne. Alright, what should I do if I'm arrested as a pickup artist? I'll tell you what you should do. You should never ever ever do it again and learn your lesson, but this is where they're going to spruik their services, no doubt. If you are arrested in Melbourne, Australia, whilst engaging in pickup artist activities, you should seek immediate legal advice with our criminal, as soon as possible. You can also engage to represent you in court. So this is how serious doing PUA in public is, that an actual law firm has a whole page dedicated to how dangerous it is to do it. It's like us in the BP, like looks community, always say, if you ain't getting the choosing signals, you don't go ahead and do anything. PUA is such a dangerous practice that you should never ever ever consider doing it. And if you're happening to be listening and watching this, please take this as a warning and stop doing it. There are other ways to attract a woman, providing you're not a true cell. So please kind of stop doing this stuff. It's really, really dangerous. Once again, this is a second article that's proving as a cautionary tale. Okay, now we have a little clip to play. Convicted pickup artist gets 8 years in prison. Once again, another cautionary tale. I'll play this, stop and interject as I see fit.
There are new developments tonight in the case of a how-to-rape website where...
Oh shit, that word, Jesus. Hope this can get uploaded. Okay, YouTube, I didn't say it. It's from an article.
Men bragged about their crimes online. Today, one of those men, the so-called pickup artist.
The How to Grape website. I have read some of these comments. This was a This was in reference to to that PUA creep and scoundrel John Anthony. I think I've done a little bit of a breakdown on him in the past. He's like one of the worst of the worst. Some of the stuff he says is ridiculous, and it would not surprise me if he just blatantly said, here's a book, here's a course, here's a workshop on how to grape women. So let's listen.
Artist was sentenced to 8 years in prison. 10 News reporter Steve Fiorina, pickup artist, was sentenced to 8 years in prison. 10 News reporter Steve Fiorina is joining us now. And Steve, the men often targeted women in the gas lamp.
They did. They would look for bars that were just about to close and look for women who'd been drinking heavily and then move in for the score.
Yeah, now that is just absolute pathetic predatory behaviour, and that would be something that that I don't even want to call him that coach, that dickhead Tranthony would definitely be in favour of doing stuff like that, trying to meet ladies when they're at their most vulnerable. While they're I also know in a lot of countries, if a lady is even just moderately or even somewhat, even just a little bit intoxicated, it is she cannot consent to bedroom activities, so you really have to be careful of that as well.
His attorney said Jason Berlin has a mild form of autism and is.
Oh, wouldn't you know it? A PUA with a mild form of autism. But the thing is, looking at this bloke, he's not a bad-looking bloke. He maybe he does have something wrong with him, because he wouldn't think he would need to solicit the services of these fucking rejection artists.
His attorney said Jason Berlin has a mild form of autism and is awkward in social situations. And that led to his involvement in something called Efficient Pickup, a website aimed at seducing or raping drunk and vulnerable women.
You hear that? So yeah, it's definitely like a John Trantony thing. So they tell you to target drunk and vulnerable women. I do not condone this. Me, the content creator and channel owner, does not agree with anything that this guy is doing in question. Just want to get that out there in case any AI or YouTube's listening. I am openly condemning this kind of behaviour. Hey algorithm, I am on your side. Guys like this definitely need to go into the slammer. And not so much these guys, but the guys that teach them need to go into the slammer, because a lot of these guys can just kind of be like innocent guys that don't really know any better. But of course, you do need to know right from wrong. Most people do know right from wrong.
A website aimed at seducing or raping drunk and vulnerable women. One victim tracked them down, leading to convictions and prison terms for two instructors of that company, and now a student, Berlin.
That night was not an oops or coincidence of events. It was strategically planned by these men who not only manipulated and raped women regularly, but blogged and profited from it, from their fans, followers, and students.
Now, when they talk about graping, I don't know in what context that is. It could just be the fact that they were too intoxicated to consent. I don't know if it was like the whole, Jack the Ripper thing where you pull out a knife and drag them behind an alleyway type thing. It was probably more in the yeah. Once again, I don't know the full details, but I'm guessing it's more in the realm of the ladies were drunk and weren't in their right mind to consent. So of course, grapes is what is the grape charge is what's going to get is what's been thrown at them.
Judge Jeff Fraser praised her for her determination.
But for you, this case would not have gone forward. But for you, this entire rink would not have been shut down.
Berlin apologized, saying he was embarrassed by his inability to make friends, and he became impatient.
I then made the biggest mistake of my life and began paying thousands of dollars for what I naively believed was a mentorship.
There you go. See, listen to that bullshit too. Thousands of dollars to get this guy here paid thousands of dollars for an 8-year prison sentence. As I said, cautionary tale. Do not go out and do this PUA shit. Even the most innocent stuff can be misconstrued and you can get done for harassment and land yourself in some very, very deep and hot water. Especially with all these, alpha coaches like that, that John Tranthony dickhead. Because he does teach like really, really like dangerous like PUA. It's not even PUA. He just basically teaches straight up assault. And yeah, he is just an absolute predator. And probably even secretly gets off when his students do his stuff and get caught. What does he care? He's just sitting there rolling in, rolling in money. Now, if this guy here on the picture here genuinely does have some kind of learning disability, then I really do feel sorry for him that he got caught up in all this stuff. I really do. He still needs some kind of punishment, but not 8 years, but maybe a couple of months or something. But that the whole Tranthony lifestyle, he should be doing the 8 years, not this guy here. But if this guy is like a bit of a bullshit artist and trying to make up excuses, then, bugger him, he should get the 8 years.
His mother was very emotional.
I thought the worst day was finding out. Okay. One moment.
And as she spoke, her son dissolved in tears too.
I love him deeply, unconditionally. I have forgiven him for his grave mistakes.
But Judge Fraser said he saw no genuine remorse from her son, rather a high degree of callousness. He sentenced Jason Berlin to the maximum, 8 years in prison.
8 years in prison for going and doing PUA in the street. But yeah, what he was doing wasn't just a general kind of yad stop day game stuff. This was very callous and calculated. So once again, cautionary tale, gentlemen, do not do this stuff.
And the two men who were Berlin's instructors also serving prison terms, all three getting 8 years. Live in the gas lamps. Steve Fiorina, 10.
Excellent. Bit of justice served for them dickheads. All right, that's a clip. Let me see how I'm going for time here. 38 minutes. This one might be a bit of a long one, but who cares? Most of my listeners like long form content. And if it's getting too long for you, you can always stop it and come back to it. There's nothing that says you can't do that. All right, so we'll keep going. We'll get rid of this. Got a little article here from Friday, 14th November 2014. I think this guy is Aussie or English, I'm not sure. Pickup artist Julian Blank. He was in the news some time ago in Australia for doing all this PUA stuff in Melbourne CBD. Like I said before, Melbourne ladies do not take kindly to any of this kind of shit. I wouldn't be caught dead doing it in Melbourne. But here, PUA Julian Blank will be refused Brazilian visa. Foreign Minister says so. Once again, another cautionary tale. This guy here was refused entry into a country for offending women, doing PUA that doesn't work. So this guy here we'll call a harassment artist. Don't know if there's any video here, but if there is, we'll watch it. I'll just read a little bit of it. Brazil has said it will deny a visa application from an American pickup artist who was forced out of Australia last week. Yeah, so this happened in 2014 in Australia after a social media campaign against his method teaching men how to seduce women. Well, you can't teach a man how to seduce a woman. She either likes the look of you or she doesn't. Blank teaches men to seduce women. No, he doesn't. It doesn't exist. Using techniques that include choking and intimidation. See, once again, like it probably is like the poor, like underdeveloped guys with underdeveloped brains or whatever it is, and intellectual disabilities that do fall for this shit and go out and do this and get caught. They're the guys I feel sorry for, not these teachers. These teachers can go and suck dick in prison for the rest of their fucking life. So, like that other Trenton, he was teaching like guys, oh yeah, just go to the clubs when they're all pissed and they can't consent. No, don't do that. Never do that. This channel and me, the narrator, is formally against doing that. As you know, consent is a 100% necessary thing. So yeah, so this guy's teaching choking and intimidation, and that's going to somehow create attraction, is it? What a fucking bellend. What a cockhead. 25-year-old from US-based group Real Social Dynamics, Owen Cook, Tyler Durden's thing, was forced to leave Australia after his visa was cancelled. Shit hot, brilliant. In the wake of protests against his workshops in Brisbane and Melbourne. So, once again, cautionary tale. Stay away from the PUA stuff. I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir making these kind of videos on my channel, but there's always the hope that someone new will come along that is into this kind of stuff, will see it and watch this stuff and think, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't be doing this stuff after all. Maybe there's a better way or a different way, or, you know, which the best way is just to looks max. Just looks max if you aren't getting the results that you're wanting and see what happens after that. But, yeah, about 10,000 people had signed the petition using what the current Prime Minister Tony Abbott and Immigration Minister Scott Morrison, who was the last, at the time of recording, the last PM, I believe, to ban the self-proclaimed dating guru, Shidot. According to RSD's website, boot camp workshops in Brazil are scheduled in Rio de Janeiro and Florianopolis in January at the cost of $2,500 per participant. Please, for the love of God, do not give these guys a cent of your money. What they're teaching doesn't work. Not only doesn't it work, but it can land you in a lot of trouble, as the previous articles have covered has proven. Do not pay these guys a red cent. Look what they're charging. It sickens me that men are so desperate and lonely, they're selling them the false hope and the potential of being incarcerated for $2,500 per person. What a cunt. Brazil's Foreign Affairs Ministry said Mr. Blank had not applied for a visa, but Brazilian consulates around the world have been instructed to immediately contact the ministry if he does. I'll just skip a little bit of this stuff it's kind of going on about. In videos of his workshops on YouTube, Mr. Blank advocates using physical aggression and emotional abuse to convince women to have bedroom fun. I think what he's alluding to here is the whole, like, you got to be dominant and alpha and, you know, caveman, like, just do what you want, take what you want. No, doesn't work like that. Men don't choose in human pair bonding. Women choose. All you can do as a guy is present yourself in the best possible light, and if you don't get chosen, tough. That's your tough luck. One of his pickup techniques is to open, which just means go up and talk to them. A woman is to approach the target and choke her before covering her mouth to keep her quiet. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you, oh, as I said, that's a one. Oh, especially in Melbourne, it's just anywhere. That's a one-way ticket to spend in at least 5 years in the slammer in the big house. What an absolute piece of shit. So we've talked about him a little bit, talked about what's happened to him. There's no video here, so yeah, so basically this guy here, yeah, so this guy here is, well, who knows what he's doing now, but he's banned in, I think he got a lifetime ban in Australia and Brazil now, so he can't go to any of these places because he tried all this pseudo-science PUA shit that's meant to trigger attraction, press the right emotional buttons, which is absolute bullshit. It doesn't work, mate. Even Chad, I don't, oh, I don't think even Chad would get away with going up and just covering a strange woman's mouth and choking them. It's like what teacher? Like this guy here doesn't. This guy here needs to do at least 20 to 25 years in prison for teaching vulnerable men this shit. Once again, another cautionary tale. Let's move on to the next one. I think this is the same one. I might have just double clicked here. Yeah, okay. The pickup artist Julian Blank kicked out of Australia. Yep, we've already covered that. Not going to read it, but if there's a video, we'll watch it. No video? Okay, let's go to the last one. Now, this last one here is a video that I watched a couple of days ago. And this one kind of really hit pretty hard because this guy is just like you and me. He's just the average Joe, the average schmuck that's just trying to find a girlfriend, get married, and live a happy life. So let's play this, and I'll stop and interject as I wish.
Here's what happens when you type in my legal name on Google.
Before I go into it too much, the title of this video is "He Was Jailed After Hiring a Dating Coach." So let's listen, shall we?
Oh yeah.
This is one of my best friends, Gassan. We met 10 years ago on the set of this TV pilot. Since then, we've been co-writers, co-directors on multiple projects, our YouTube channel.
Action.
Also, just want to say, look, if you can, please go and check out this original video. I kind of feel a little bit bad for using as much footage of it as I am, because obviously, like these guys, as they get into, they are film students, quite high production value. They've only got one video up, I think. It's nearly got 10k views. They've only got 245 subs. I don't know if they're going to keep making this kind of stuff, but I'll do my best to get through this while not watching it all, if possible. For one, I don't want a copyright strike, and I don't want to, take their steal any of their thunder, so.
We owned a production company, produced content for corporate clients.
Alright, so we'll move on to the arrest story of, right, that he's got a mate that's helping him, okay. Hopefully that song hasn't got any copyright, so we'll just stop it anyway for a bit. And
when I saw Gassan's mugshot in the news, we hadn't spoken in over a year and a half. I called him to make sure he was okay, but then another 7 months passed by. Until one day in March, something told me I had to call him. I get him to tell me the story of the arrest again, see what details shift in the retelling. But every time, it's exactly the same.
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, bro, how's it going?
Oh, you know, seen better days.
Oh, I'm sure. What the hell happened, dude? You mind telling me?
Yeah, last year I went through a process of trying to be more social and improve my dating life without using the apps. So I got really in my head.
It's like I said, I watched this, and this guy here just seems like the average guy that's going to fall for this PUA dating roach bullshit. Just an average guy. The apps aren't working. Of course they're not. He's paying an ethnic tax, but he's probably a good I'd say in his ethnic range, he'd be a solid 5 to 5.5, something like that. But yeah, just an average Joe that doesn't know any better.
About the process. So back in July, I decided.
Now, is this guy here? Is this Michael Chief? That one of my subs will know that David. I forget the rest of your thing. Is this Michael Chief? Because this happened in Canada. Don't tell me this guy hired Michael Chief.
To hire a dating coach. So his process was to film my interactions with women throughout the day, so we can review the footage later. So on the last interaction of the day, I approached this beautiful woman in a pink dress out in the middle of Queen Street, and it was a great interaction. We were walking and talking, and then as we did, police officer showed up, and next thing I know, I'm being arrested for voyeurism for a sexual purpose.
Once again, do not go out and film or record yourself doing this stuff. Really big cautionary tale here. This poor bloke here, you know.
So I spent the night in jail. I didn't think much of the charge at the time. And then I spoke to a public defender who told me that it comes with a 5-year sentence and I would have to register as a sex offender.
That's what PUA can get you, you know. And in the worst case end of the spectrum, it can get you in trouble with the law and looking at some pretty heavy jail time. Even if you're just like as innocent as this guy was doing, as you'll see later on. If I show you in this clip, I don't want to show too much, as I said, but yeah, even if you're as innocent as this guy, just trying to improve his chances, improve his luck with the ladies, you know, you go out and you interact with ladies and aren't giving you choosing signals, bad things can happen.
That's when I thought, man, if that happens, I gotta end my life.
Why did the cop think you guys were doing the voyeurist stuff? What exactly did he think he saw?
Well, the coach had the camera in a lunchbox. So it was a hidden camera held to his side. The cop thought I was distracting the woman while the coach came up from behind and filmed her.
Now this is a sorry for talking over these guys. I'll skip a little bit in a second, but I'll just quickly narrate this in a nutshell. Basically, the dating coach was filming this guy, you know, to further teach him what the dating coach obviously knows doesn't work, and probably charge him a good few $1,000 more for it. What they often do is, they'll often have a concealed camera somewhere, like a camera in a backpack, or sometimes they'll fork out a few bucks for a little spy camera. It'll just look like a button in your shirt, or sunglasses with cameras on them. So what happened here is they got caught while this student here, the I'm guessing like Middle Eastern Indian, whatever he is, the guy in this video, not the dating coach, actual student, was talking to a lady. The coach actually had the camera on the bottom of a staircase on a little bit like not so much a 45, maybe a 25, 30 degree angle. And the authorities seen that, and he got lumbered for upskirting, taking photos and stuff like that. So that's what happened in a nutshell. But we'll let this guy tell his story a little bit. Once again, as I said, I wish I could show you it all, but go ahead and just go to the channel uncancelled and watch it all if you really want to see it all. But so that's basically what happened. They both got caught filming an interaction with a lady and got caught for doing upskirting, harassment, etc., etc. So we'll move to the next chapter.
Why'd you hire a dating coach? What is a dating coach?
So in this video, I'm going to be going over the proper way on how to approach any girl during the daytime.
In this video, you're going to see me get rejected.
The unspoken rules of approaching women from a dating coach.
Most men are single, most young women are not.
What is your body count? Between 600.
There's Mr. Plain with himself. What's this guy going to lie about? What's this guy going to say?
Men are single, most young women are not.
What is your body count? Between 600 and 1,000. You do not.
I don't believe you. 600 and 1,000.
Have to accept her rejection.
Now.
Between 600 and 1,000. You do not have to accept.
I'm going to 100% disagree with this guy here. You do not have to accept her rejection. Yes, you do. If a woman's rejected you, you have to go away and leave her alone. There is no such thing as these, shit tests and crap tests that you can just push through. She's not testing you to see if you're a real man. No means no. No means no.
Take the lead.
To be honest, I'd rather just be a little lonelier than deal with all the hassle of dating.
We've implicitly told young people, especially men, they're not supposed to express interest.
Social media has completely warped and kind of destroyed the way that men and women view each other.
Well, I'll move on from that because we'll go to the next chapter. Because we all know what a dating coach is. They're just trying to educate the uneducated there.
The day I saw Ghassan's mugshot on the news, I made a video that got picked up by a few local news stations. So here's me recording the news to catch my...
Fired by Saturday Night Live. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was media attention about a slur. And
adversity is a filter, and you find out who your friends are.
The product. People haven't boycotted me.
Do you feel like you were canceled maybe?
So, this guy here, Ghassan, I said I don't want to play too much of their stuff because they do have a bit of their own material there, and I like to respect people that make their own content and stuff. Except PUAs, I'll use theirs, so I couldn't give a fuck about them. This guy here actually got cancelled after all this found out. His mugshot came out, and people stopped hiring him. He was in the film, TV industry, stuff like that. So, from just doing PUA, this guy's whole life got turned upside down. He got cancelled. People just turned against him. He was feeling like self-deleting, etc., etc.
I walk back outside, and then the bartender walks out. And he's like, yo, buddy, I can't have you in here. And I was like, why not? And then he pulls out his phone, and he zooms in on us the mugshot. And he goes, is this you?
Two men got caught filming upskirt videos at busy downtown Toronto intersection. So that came out, and he got cancelled, and then, it's a small world, and he's paying the price for it.
And I was like, dude, it's a false arrest. It was a moment where I was like, this is fucking real. I am shunned from this community. I don't know who else knows in this community. Am I allowed to go get coffee? Am I allowed to go get snacks? Am I allowed to do anything without somebody knowing?
Ghassan and I had been filming for a few months, and he's told me the story of the arrest several times, on and off camera. But today, I get to verify that story with our first piece of hard evidence from the arrest.
Please don't be copyrighted music. Please don't be. No, more like it will be, and I won't be able to upload this.
So this is the audio recording device that the coach put on me during our sessions. This holds the recording of the entire session and also contains the recording of the arrest.
Cool. So that's it?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Super random. I just really love your style when it comes out.
Yeah, so generic stupid pickup line opener that doesn't work. Okay.
Sam. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, sir. How are you? Good. What are your plans for the day? I'm supposed to meet a friend, but she's kind of flopping on me. So I don't know. I have no plans. All right. Well, let's make some plans. Oh my god. Okay. What do you want to do? You want to come with me to the water? Let's do it. Yeah.
That's exactly how I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how you describe it to us.
Yeah.
So in the middle of this pickup, an officer sees them doing it and intervenes.
Oh, damn. Jesus Christ.
Being weird? Do you know this guy? No, I just met her.
Yeah, this is me panicking.
How do you feel hearing the coach's voice for the first time in a while?
I'm just transported back to the anxiety in that moment.
She's so nice, and she was just, you guys were actually really hitting it off, and then all of a sudden you can hear like this panic in her voice, and it's just...
I fucking know. It kills me. I thought about that for so long. I also felt so bad for lying to her, man. Oh my god, it was a moment of just pure panic. I was like, fuck, just get out of here. Get out of here.
Okay. Do not lie to me. I'm going to give you one opportunity to tell me the truth. How do you know him? He's helping me learn how to talk to women. That's it.
And I bet you this dating roach when he was interviewed through this student right under the bus as well. Piece of shit.
He's teaching you how to talk to women? Yeah, that's it. Okay, and that's legitimately it. He's just helping me with filming it, so then that way I can review it later and then just understand.
Oh, you can hear this fear in my voice.
So right now, you're being arrested for your partner, over there, your friend, whoever it is to you. He's being arrested for voyeurism, and you're going to be arrested for parting to the offense for that.
What's interesting is I always...
There you go. Arrested for doing PUA in the street, and especially filming. Do not film. As much as filming, you know, can be for your own safety too. You know, these PUAs and dating roaches are just nothing but fucking trouble. And then he just goes on to talk about getting the story out, whether he wanted to tell the story. He ends up putting statements out. I'm just going to click like little thumbnail things here. This is like what I've stopped on here is like the pathway where the ladies are up here if you're watching on the screen. No, like he basically ended up getting off the charges because he proved that it wasn't an upskirting, that he was genuinely trying to just chat up a lady. So he filed a statement. What have we got now? The experiment.
But I decided, fuck it.
So yeah, this is the experiment where he actually went out and like pretended to wear a skirt, as you could see, and he had his mate film with the exact same camera that the dating roach used to prove that you actually couldn't get an angle deep enough to see any private parts of the lady, and that helped him to get off the charge. But now this happened in like 2023, 2024. But unfortunately, as a guy, as a girl too, I guess, but as a guy, once you've been cancelled and your name's been dragged through the mud, there's basically no coming back. So this guy here dropped a statement, and we'll watch this little recap.
Okay, so let's recap. Ghassan's retelling of the events matched up with the evidence from the audio recorder. Based on our experiment, we found that getting a shot up a skirt was very difficult and almost impossible. But the police officer did say he saw something on the camera. So what the hell did he see? And if he indeed saw something, what the hell was the coach filming? Were there other clips the coach was filming that Ghassan was unaware of? And who even is this guy my friend hired?
Yeah, who is it? It's like a dropkick. So yeah, he got uncancelled. I'll go to the comments and that for a little bit in a second too. So I'll give my little recap on this as well. So this guy here, average smuck, ethnic guy in Canada, wanted to increase his luck with the ladies. He, as all of us, you know, all of us non-chads come to work out sooner or later that the dating apps don't work. They're a big waste of time. Unless you're a good-looking bloke. So what's he do? Gets online, hires a dating coach, thinking it's all going to be legit. He's going to have no problems. That everything they teach works. It's all tried and tested. So he hires one. They go out. The dating roach wants to film him for further review, and they'll probably charge him more money for filming him and further review. They talk to a lady near this staircase. A police officer just happens to be walking past, seeing a guy filming him, filming him and the girl from a weird angle. Bang, there they are, both done. They both get charged for voyeurism and just being perverted creeps, basically. And so they get arrested, charged, and the mugshot of this guy goes public. And he ends up getting cancelled, fired, rejected from all his social groups, basically social death for him. And through his own hard work, he gets his mate that's also like a filmographer or whatever that knows about cameras, get the same camera. And what he's done is, you know, went to the exact same spot, filmed from all angles, and proved got the exact same skirt too, proved that you couldn't get an upskirt view from there, and that got him off. So he basically got all the charges dropped for all that stuff, but his life's still ruined because once you've been, you know, had your character assassinated in public, you're fucked. You just can't come back. Once you've been cancelled, even if you've been proved innocent, the damage is done. So once again, huge cautionary tale not to hire a dating coach or do any kind of PUA shit. Here's one. Here's a good comment. Rehab room needs to cover this. Yeah, I'd like to see him cover it. Moral of the story, don't hit on girls if you're not Chad. Yeah, you're not wrong. This dating coach taught him a brutal lesson. Do not interact with women unless you are stacked with cash or looks. And even then, she can ruin your life with a lie. Yeah. Yeah, so it's basically just a lot of guys from like the RP and BP community here in the comments. And here's like a bit of a, you know, sarcastic answer here. Oh, the worst thing that can happen is she says no. No, the worst thing that can happen is you can potentially get unalived for doing it if some bystander, you know, or some boyfriend comes along that's a complete nutcase. And a really bad thing that can happen is you can go to prison for quite some time. Here's a guy using rehab rooms catchphrase, don't bring a free agent in life. Another guy says, wow, what a story. They were too quick to judge you, but I'm glad you cleared your name. Well, he didn't really clear his name. He cleared the charges, but his name's not cleared. Where that Ghassan, the guy in question that got caught because of the dating coach, said, thank you so much, from Ghassan, and then someone else chimed in, sure, but damage done, just like what I said. Yeah, once the damage is done, you can't really do anything about it. Here's someone else being, you know, hyperbolic and sarcastic, saying what a lot of these PUAs and roaches say: calm down, bro, you'll never get arrested for talking to a woman. Gets arrested for speaking to a woman. Yep. That's what us BP guys are trying to tell you, you know. You've really got to be fucking careful. Do not do any of this PUA bullshit under any circumstances. So what I will do now is put this thumbnail back up. This hour and 10 minute long, bit of a long one. I'll end this one here, and I hope you guys got something out of it. If not, just reinforce and reiterate the fact that PUA, dating roaches, doesn't work, and it can land you in a lot of trouble. And hopefully you got a little bit of entertainment out of it. And that's all I really wanted to say. Just wanted to cover a couple of these articles and just bring to light the clear and present danger of doing this kind of stuff. So till next time, see you all later.